6 people were injured in 2 separate shootings that took place today.
5 people were injured in a shooting that took place during a function held at a house in Gadol Bamma, Okampetiya in Buttala. The shooting had taken place during a conflict that had broken out during a girl's coming-of-age party at her grandmother's house at about 11:45 last night. The girl's father has been identified as the shooter. While the 5 injured were admitted to the Monoragala District Hospital following the shooting, 2 victims who were in serious condition were transferred to the Badulla Hospital. While the police have arrested 1 suspect in connection with the incident, they said a type of shotgun commonly used by farmers to protect their crops was used in the shooting. Meanwhile, a motorcycle rider was injured in a shooting that took place this morning on the Katunayaka Minuwangoda main road. The victim has been identified as 35-year-old D. Vasantha Kumara, a resident of Unnarua, Minuwangoda. The shooters were 2 riders who had come up behind the victim. The police say the suspects had fled the scene after the crime. The victim is being treated at the intensive care unit of the Negombo Hospital. No arrests have been made in connection with the incident as yet.
Today is International Women's Day. The theme of this year's International Women's Day is a promise time for action to end violence against women.
International Women's Day has been observed since the early 1900s, a time of great expansion and turbulence in the industrialized world that saw booming population growth and the rise of radical ideologies. In 1908, at a time when great unrest and critical debate was occurring amongst women, women's oppression and inequality was spurring women to become more vocal and active in campaigning for change. That same year, 15,000 women marched through New York City in the US, demanding shorter working hours, better pay and the right to vote. Women continued to celebrate National Women's Day on the last Sunday of February until 1913. In 1910, the leader of the Women's Office of the Social Democratic Party in Germany, Clara Zetkin, tabled the idea of an International Women's Day in Copenhagen, Denmark. In 1913, following discussions, International Women's Day was transferred to the 8th of March, and the day has remained the global date for International Women's Day ever since. In 1977, the United Nations officially accepted the 8th of March as International Women's Day. Annually, on the 8th of March, thousands of events are held throughout the world to inspire women and celebrate achievements.
Bharata Lakshman Premachandra and 3 others were shot and killed on the 8th of October 2011. Over the past 2 days, we brought you the events that unfolded thereafter. Tonight, we look at the incidents that have taken place in relation to this saga since the 30th of April 2012.
An investigation is initiated on the instructions of the IGP into a complaint pertaining to death threats received by Hirunika Premachandra. The Colombo Additional Magistrate says that a warrant for MP Duminda Silva's arrest cannot be issued as the CID has not requested such a warrant. The power of the supremacy of the people must be used justly on behalf of the people. A letter from Hirunika Premachandra to the President. 6 months lapsed since the order was issued to arrest MP Duminda Silva. The Colombo Additional Magistrate questions the CID on the failure to take any steps. Charges of contempt of court levelled at Hirunika Premachandra.
I did not say anything wrong. I simply made supplications to the gods.
Parliament approves further 3 months leave for MP Duminda Silva. Why is he not being brought back to Sri Lanka? A condolence motion tabled in Parliament on slain Bharata Lakshman Premachandra. Court orders a report on the health condition of MP Duminda Silva, who is being treated at a hospital in Singapore. MP Duminda Silva is suffering from amnesia with regard to the shooting in which Bharata Lakshman Premachandra and 4 others were killed. The CID informs court. The Colombo Additional Magistrate says that no one can lead the court astray. Court rejects a request to take action against Hirunika Premachandra for alleged contempt of court. The lawyer representing Bharata Lakshman Premachandra in court requests an Interpol warrant for the arrest of MP Duminda Silva.
Putting further strain on the public-private bus unions reiterated today that bus fares will be revised.
Bus fares rose by 17.5% in 2007. Fares, which were increased on 2 occasions in 2008, was reduced in November the same year. During the first half of 2009, bus fares were decreased by a further 4.03%, before being increased by 5.7% in the month of September. 2010 marked a year in which bus fares remained unchanged. On the 1st of August 2011, bus fares saw a sharp increase of 15.08%. However, there was no change in the minimum bus fare. The 14th of February 2012 marked a day in which bus fares increased by a further 20%, raising the minimum bus fare by 2 rupees. The debate on bus fares arose once again in 2013 with a sudden decision made by private bus unions to increase bus fares in light of the fuel price revision last month. We had asked for a fuel subsidy, but the officials attached to the Ministry of Finance said that such a subsidy cannot be granted. We laid down some conditions as well in order to resolve the problems in our industry. It has been 2 weeks since diesel prices were increased and bus operators have been incurring losses. So in the end we were left with no choice but to increase bus fares.
Now, the chairman of the National Transport Commission, Roshan Gunawardena, says that measures have been taken to hand over a confidential report to the Ministry of Transport about the discussion held between the private bus unions and the Ministry of Transport to increase bus fares. Nevertheless, the subject minister, C.B. Ratnayaka, says that he is yet to receive this confidential report. He said that he would study the report when he receives it and take a decision on the matter thereafter.
7 persons have been arrested in connection with the recent robbery of 10 million rupees from a businessman in the Slave Island area. According to police media spokesperson SP Buddhika Siriwardana, among the arrested were several police officers. Further investigations have commenced into the incident. And with that, we go in for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the news. The Mahasangha says that the current leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, has removed active elected women representatives from the UNP Working Committee and replaced them with defeated candidates in order to protect his own position. The Ranayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya chapter, Venerable Girambe Anandathera, says that through these actions, victory cannot be brought to the party or the majority of women in the country.
It is the duty of the UNP to be amid the people and to be with the people. One step in this is the recruitment of members. They are going in search of new people. When they are recruiting one person, some who secured hundreds of thousands of votes have no positions within the party. I wonder as to whether there is something wrong in his head, and if that is why he is removing young MPs who are popular with the people, who the people have hopes in, and is replacing them with useless people. People like Amara Piyasili, Renuka Herat, Sunetra Ranasinghe and Shantini Kongahage, who were rejected and cornered by the people, have been appointed to the working committee. People like Rosie Senanayaka and Thalata Atukorala, who are with the people, who take the fore for the people, who the people respect, have been removed. Our question is whether the UNP is to move forward with corpses like this. Instead of following this unsuccessful leader and being subject to public anger in the future, it is better to stay at home and do our work.
The Veerakesari newspaper reported today that opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe had said that even though the woman named Isai Priya was a member of the LTTE, her rape and murder is an unforgivable act. The report states that the opposition leader had said that women in the north were subject to grievous acts of violence during the war.
The report published in the Veerakesari newspaper today quoted statements made by Ranil Wickremesinghe at the parliamentary complex yesterday at the occasion to mark the commencement of the work of the Commission to examine acts of violence against women. The report states that Wickremesinghe had said that even though Isai Priya was a member of the LTTE media unit, her rape and murder is an act that can in no means be condoned. Wickremesinghe had also said that women should not be viewed as playthings of men. The report states that Wickremesinghe had also questioned as to how it can be said that the United Nations Charter is being protected in Sri Lanka when such acts of violence are being committed against democracy in the country.
Up next is Action TV.
These people, who once upon a time showed the standard of development to an Action TV camera using a coconut shell, are Mahaveli settlers. 9 months have now passed since the ABC mixture was laid on this road, which was to be carpeted when the first generation of Mahaveli settlers were settled here. This 7-kilometer stretch of road from Veheragala to Maldenia is used by people from several settlements in the Mahaweli Sea Zone when travelling to the key towns of Dehiyattakandia and Arlagangvilla. This road was carpeted by a Korean company in the early 1980s, parallel to the construction of waterways in the Mahaweli scheme. Numerous potholes have cropped up on this road in the 3 decades since. The foundation was laid to resurface the road under the North Central Province Road Development Project, which was commenced with the dissolution of the North Central Provincial Council in view of the concluded Provincial Council election. While 70 million rupees was allocated for the resurfacing of the entire 7-kilometer stretch of road, instead of covering up only the potholes, the project in question was abandoned after the ABC mixture was laid on a 5-kilometer stretch. It can be seen that the carpet laid down 3 decades ago on the 2-kilometer stretch on which the ABC mixture was not laid is still there today. A recent investigation conducted by the Presidential Investigations Commission has established as to who benefited from these projects. It may be that there is an agenda to take or not take action against these individuals. But should the Mahaweli settlers who are innocent in the matter continue to pay the price for the faults of others? Chief Minister of the North Central Province, this one is over to you.
Former Army Commander and leader of the Democratic National Alliance, Sarath Fonseca, participated on the Sutton political debate program telecast on our sister channel, Sirasa TV, yesterday.
At the international level, serious allegations of human rights violations are being levelled at the entire nation. As a person who overlooked one of the key factions in this war, you have a responsibility to reveal the reality to the world. If you receive some sort of invitation from the government to make submissions as the former army commander, are you prepared to go before the international community and make clarifications? I am very happy about the fact that I got to overlook the final battle. If the government were to ask me if I am prepared to go forth as the person who overlooked the final battle and say that there were no violations, then I will ask them to first proclaim that I am indeed the commander who conducted the battle, that they took away things that I am entitled to, that they raised my name, but that I am the man who conducted the battle. They must tell the entire country that first. It is still my duty and responsibility as a citizen. I conducted those battles. I worked very closely with the forces and issued instructions. I must take responsibility for those battles. I will accept this responsibility, and on behalf of the army, the war heroes, the motherland and the people, I am prepared to go forward. As the leader of the Democratic National Alliance, do you need an invitation from the government to go before the international community and vindicate the nation? I do not need an invitation from the government, but there are already problems here. There are problems with the government not allowing UN representatives to come here. There are problems with people who are trying to come in not being allowed to come in due to the wants of the Human Rights Commission. If a legitimate investigation is initiated, then the government cannot stop it, and neither can those around the world not get behind it. I do not need the government's permission, but if such an inquiry is legitimately initiated, then I will fearlessly face it like any citizen in this country.
On to business news, the government has taken steps to purchase potatoes from farmers in Norelia at a certified price. The Norelia District Secretary says that potatoes will be purchased at 70 rupees a kilogram under this program. Potato farmers in Norelia recently staged a demonstration saying that they were unable to fetch a proper price for their produce. Our reporter says that private traders purchase potatoes from farmers between 55 and 65 rupees a kilogram at present. However, the potatoes are sold in the market between 100 and 110 rupees a kilogram. Steps are being taken to purchase potatoes from farmers at a certified price in order to protect the local farmer.